And welcome to Cowboy Logic, everyone. I'm Donna Fiducia, and he is...
I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off.
Why, Don?
I'm pissed off because I am absolutely over the bull that we're getting fed by everybody in the Trump administration other than Trump.
Well...
And the bull that we're being fed by the members of Congress. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I'm not going to sugarcoat this anymore. I don't buy the pipe bomb bull.
That's 3 you're going to have to bleep out.
Yep.
It only took almost 5 years.
I do not.
And the statute of limitations is about to run out, so they got to do something. But you get Pam Bondi up there saying, we got new investigators on it, so this way we know it's real.
Okay, maybe that's true that they've got new investigators on it.
Yep.
And you guys are all seeing this a week later. We may know things. This is the one thing I don't like about recording a TV show, is that what I'm talking about right now, I don't even know what the date is today. I'm so pissed off.
The 6th.
Okay. Day after her birthday.
No, shh.
Donna's birthday was December 5th. You guys put that in your calendars.
But seriously, this, people have been pushing for this. Bongino was pushing for this when he was doing his show. You can see the video of the pipe bomber waving at police. That's obvious. A police car goes by, the pipe bomber waves at the police, so you can't tell me it's not an inside job. None of this is coming out. Barry Loudermilk is saying, well, I believe this investigation.
You go right ahead, Barry. You go right ahead and believe that, because we have been trying to get information to you for 3 damn years, sir.
Well, hopefully.
4 years.
So now it's supposedly, what this is, quite honestly, is a color revolution. Let us investigate exactly what a color revolution is.
You've now probably heard political experts over and over refer to the fact that what we're witnessing is a color revolution. And they're right. And let me explain why. A color revolution is a communist globalist playbook to take over a country without tanks actually rolling down Main Street. It's how they flipped places like Serbia, Georgia, Ukraine, and they tried to flip a dozen others. The same exact playbook every single time. This is how they do it. 1, they demonize the leader of the people who they actually voted for. 2, they flood the country with chaos like riots, open borders, economic pain. 3, they weaponize the courts, the media, and big tech to finish him off. And 4, they install a puppet who sells the country out to China and the UN. And that's not theory, that's the manual. They opened it on us in the United States the day Donald Trump won in 2016. And here's how they ran it on us step by step. From 2016 to 2020, they gave us the Russia collusion hoax, FBI spying, 2 fake impeachments, Antifa burning cities while CNN called it fiery but mostly peaceful, and the goal was to make you hate the guy you voted for. In 2020, we had 2 a.m. ballot dumps, boarded up windows, 51 intel agents lying about Hunter's laptop, Zuckerberg dropping $400 million to help count votes in Democrat cities. And the goal there was to steal the election while calling you a conspiracy theorist for noticing. From 2021 to 2024, we had Joe Biden opening the border on day 1, 12 million plus illegals, military-age men from China and Venezuela and all over the world, free flights, free hotels, free EBT cards, all on your dime. Cities collapse, crime explodes, schools and hospitals break. The goal, to make Americans feel like strangers in their own country. Then from 2021 to 2025, 91 felony charges, Mar-a-Lago raided, gag orders, mug shots. They didn't want to just beat Trump. They wanted to break him and every future patriot who dares to run. Look at what they did to Charlie Kirk. That is a textbook color revolution. But on November 5th, 2024, the American people looked this Marxist coup dead in the eye and said, not today. 312 electoral votes, popular vote landslide, the biggest Hispanic and Black Republican turnout ever. We pulled off the greatest peaceful counter-revolution in world history. But the deep state isn't done. The same snakes who funded BLM riots, Ukraine coup, and Arab Spring still sit in the FBI, CIA, big tech, and the universities. They'll try again in 2026 or in 2028, but now you know the game. Every time you see another mostly peaceful riot, sudden experts all using the same scripted words, a new crisis 2 weeks before an election, you're watching the Color Revolution playbook live on American soil. Never forget what they tried to do to us. Back mass deportations. If we have no border, we have no country. Protect every America First fighter willing to swing the axe on the swamp. Teach your kids the truth. Communism didn't die in 1991. It just died a tear purple and moved to Washington.
Yep. Well, I think we saw a real color revolution, courtesy CNN.
Brian Cole Jr., a 30-year-old white man from the D.C. suburbs, is charged with transporting an explosive device in interstate commerce and with malicious destruction.
I can't get enough of that. Ron, play it again. This is just
Brian
unbelievable.
Cole Jr., a 30-year-old white man from the D.C. suburbs, is charged with transporting an explosive device in interstate commerce and with malicious destruction.
Jake Tapper,
I wonder if somebody put
you are such a failure as a human being. You can't even make it as a human being, Jake. You are so scripted and so programmed in your hatred of white males that you make that kind of a dumbass mistake. And Donna covered for you, saying that all you do is read prompters so people could put in anything like the movie Anchorman. Mm-hmm. You suck, Jake.
That's what I was going to say.
You just suck.
Did someone just put that in his prompter and he didn't proofread it and just went ahead and read it? Who knows? You know, both parties benefit from these NGOs. Congressman Tim Burchett is really about the only one who's telling it like it is. He said Elon needs to come back. There's a reason why they ran Elon out of town on a rail. There's money, there's power, there's arrogance. And this is all three. As far as I'm concerned, you know, Christopher Wray insisted Antifa wasn't there. Obviously, he lied under oath. Why isn't he brought in?
That's a lie. That's an absolute, you know, I know you got more videos and a whole script of stuff you want to do. This is bullshit, everybody.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. We had Landon Copeland on. We tolerated him for an hour. He was a J6er that was admitted Antifa. Mm-hmm. He told us he was there with 200 members of his little club. And that there were probably another 2,000 to 2,500 that were there. And Chris Wray, you lied to the American people. And nobody's being held accountable for this. I wouldn't be so...
For anyone who's been told they just need stronger glasses, hold on.
Thousands of people are improving their sight every day, all by doing this 7-second morning rituals. If you
pissed off right now if for the past 4 years we haven't been providing everybody with the evidence that you needed for this. This is not the single... He didn't act alone. Maybe he had something to do with it.
I don't know.
America, we better figure out a way to correct all of these problems peacefully.
Yep.
So that the mainstream media doesn't edit my words, or we're screwed.
Yep.
As a country.
I got to agree with General Flynn. The big kahunas are the ones that got to go. The Christopher Wrays, and quite honestly, John Brennan. That's the biggest one. And maybe even Barack Obama above that. But unless those people come down, and I believe exactly as General Flynn has said, that this is still a coup, a color revolution being run from the inside because these guys are still have all their little minions in office. And it's getting to the point we've had, again, a whole year pretty much of supposedly running down the bad guys. And what we come out with is Brian Cole Jr. I mean, come on. We got to lighten things up for the next segment, please.
You better work hard because I am pissed off about this.
And you got a lot of bleeping to do.
That's right. Might as well give us one more. This pipe bomb bull doesn't hold water. We'll be right back.
everybody, let's talk about great goods for your hair, your skin, your nails, and that would be sugarcreekgoods.com. In fact, when we come down into the studio, everything smells so great because we leave this down here. This is the masculine soap collection. Little making noise here, but there's 4 bars of soap, and boy, does it smell good. Oh, and I love the facial toner. They have insect repellent as well. They've got shampoos. They've got skin moisturizers. SugarCreekGoods.com. And again, all kinds of great soap. And I was weeding the other day, so they sent me some poison ivy creams here. Luckily, I didn't need it. But again, folks, anything that you want as far as skincare, they've really got a great product line. Check them out at SugarCreekGoods.com. Promo code 1776 for your discount. And it supports Cowboy Logic and a great patriotic company. SugarCreekGoods.com, promo code 1776. And Merry Christmas.
Welcome back to Cowboy Logic, everybody. I am going to do my best to behave this segment.
It takes
but
a lot.
I'm still pissed. I am still.
It takes a lot to piss him off.
This is not right.
No.
I don't believe a minute. I don't believe a second. I don't believe a syllable that came out of that press conference on whatever day it was.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Of now a week and a half ago.
So I'm going to throw some more stuff at you to make you really
you're gonna
feel
make me
good.
even more
yes.
mad? God. Listen, I could barbed wire right now.
Oh, another bleep. Okay. Only 30% of the 42 million on EBT are actually Americans.
Of course so. What more would you expect from the United
Born
States?
here, disabled veterans that really need it. Why? Because Muslims won't work. Or let their wives work, really. They have multiple wives. They get close to $5,000 a month each. And if 51%, by the way, on EBT are Muslims, okay? They refuse to work in a non-Sharia compliant country. You got to start understanding this culture, okay? If you have a Sharia compliant legal system like they do have in some areas around the country already, wives have absolutely no say in anything. If your husband wants to divorce you, you're kicked out on the street. And who pays for that? Us. Okay? They don't speak English. They have never been educated. They're totally third world isms, and they do not assimilate. So just wake up to that, okay? So let's talk about some more liberal logic. I'll use this, what Stuart Varney was talking about. Doge found that Biden's fast-tracked illegals, 1.4 million were put on Medicaid immediately. In 2021, he brought in 270.5 thousand. 2022, 590,000. 2023, 964,000. And then he went whole hog in 2024 out the door with 2+ million. Check this out.
If you think you're being tolerant, inclusive, and open-minded, you're actually being conquered. Allowing waves and waves of illegals, criminals, and unvetted people into a country is one of the dumbest things that a country can do. And Biden already did just that, so now Trump has to go and fix all of that mess. Security isn't bigotry, it's responsibility. And the fact that Trump is securing our borders shows how responsible he is as a president. 2 of our National Guard members were shot at. 1 was killed. They were shot at in Washington, D.C. by an Afghan man that was let in through the country, mind you, under Biden's administration through Operation Allies Welcome. The irony in that. And thankfully, President Trump is putting a pause on all migration from third world countries because our country needs to recover. And of course, Democrats will never acknowledge the benefits of securing our borders because, mind you, they hate America. Democrats, they love to virtue signal and act as if they care about illegal immigrants, but in actuality, all they want is their vote. Hence why they don't like voter ID. If you truly cared about a country, you would care about securing the borders. Just like how you have a house with walls and a key, the same applies with a country.
So now let's look. This is total Trump derangement syndrome at this point, okay? Now let's look at the man on the street, liberal logic, in 14 seconds.
What is your biggest fear in 2025?
People not understanding the difference between lies and truth.
What is a woman?
Does it really matter?
So could I be a woman if I wanted to be?
Yes.
Okay.
I never dreamt. I got to say something. I can't be quiet this whole segment. I'm too pissed off. I never dreamt. I'm going to be 65 years old in a few months. I can't believe our country is this damn dumb.
Well, hold on. Better yet, here's a socialist Mondami liberal logic.
Friends, it's chilly out there. It's chilly in here. But one thing I'm warming up to is the idea of a fully funded transition. So go to transition2025.com, pitch in whatever you can. Let's win a city we can all afford.
So he wants money for what he said, all the free stuff that he said he was given, but he wants you to give him money. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Can we go back to like pre-COVID voting at least? You know, and this is the other thing. The RNC is going against Donald Trump, and I talked about this on the morning show on Rav a number of times. The RNC is still saying bank your vote. I'm sorry, that's stupid. Okay? If you bank your vote, you're voting early and you're telling them exactly what your playbook is and how many votes they need to cheat. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is saying same day voting, voter ID, Americans only. You get the day off. You get a paid day to go vote. So the RNC is actually going against Donald Trump.
No kidding. How long have we been talking about that, Donna?
I don't know. Is this the R word? I think this is the R word, okay? We need to lighten things up with a little diaper diplomacy.
Now, I'm talking about like Somalia, where you have a congressman goes around telling everybody about our Constitution, yet she supposedly came into our country by marrying her brother. Well, if that's true, she shouldn't be a congressman, and we should throw her the hell out of our country.
On top of that, in that same post, you mentioned Tim Walz, and you called him what many Americans do find an offensive word, retarded. Do you stand by that claim of calling Tim Walz retarded?
Yeah, I think there's something wrong with him. Absolutely, sure.
You
have a problem with it? You know what? I think there's something wrong with him. Anybody that would do...
There's one simple vision hack anyone can use to improve vision, so you can say goodbye to your optometrist for good.
Thousands of people are improving their...
What he did, anybody that would allow those people into a state and pay billions of dollars up to Somalia. We give billions of dollars to Somalia. It's not even a country because it doesn't function like a country. It's got a name, but it doesn't function like a country. Yeah, there's something wrong with Walz.
Mr. President, you said that you might denaturalize some American citizens. Can you talk about...
You mean people that are in here that shouldn't be here?
Well, that became Americans. Are you trying to...
Well, see, I mean, yeah, we have criminals that came into our country and they were naturalized maybe through a bike or somebody that didn't know what they were doing. If I have the power to do it, I'm not sure that I do, but if I do, I would denaturalize absolutely. Dan, do you have a question? Yeah.
What do you mean by
It means get people out that are in our country. Get them out of here. I want to get them out. We got a lot of people in our country that shouldn't be here, and they came in through Biden, and he was the worst president in the history of our country. But the single biggest thing he did was allow millions of people into our country that shouldn't be here. Drug dealers, prisons were opened up and allowed to come into our country. You take a look at the people that were allowed to come into our country. We're paying a big price for it, and we will for years to come.
He went on to talk about Tim Walz and the R word. You know, Tim Walz is very upset that people are calling him the R word. People are driving past his house, yelling the R word at him. Meanwhile, Minnesota, 50% of Minnesota visas are fraudulent, according to Kristi Noem. SBA's Kelly Loeffler.
Yeah, but hold on a second. Yeah, SBA, $8 billion.
Yeah, said in 2 days.
I just paid off my SBA loans from COVID that we needed to survive this past week.
Yeah. It's up to $8 billion in Minnesota. $8 billion. But Kelly Loeffler said in just a couple of days they found $1 million in PPP loans just in 2 days. Ilhan Omar introduced a bill allowing $250 million in welfare fraud schemes in her district.
Okay, so what's being done about it? What are you going to do about it?
I don't know. Doesn't seem like either side wants to do anything about it.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't.
It doesn't. It's true. Well, a couple good things. SCOTUS has upheld redistricting for Texas, which is bigly. That's bigly. So, and they're also poised to hear about birthright citizenship, because that's the other thing. They're sending people here to have kids that automatically become citizens, even though their parents are not. So that should not be the case, because that is not what the 14th Amendment was about. The 14th Amendment was allowing freed slaves to vote, and later on, freed black women to vote, as well as women in general. That had nothing. In fact, they were talking about that it didn't even allow American Indians to vote in that original amendment. So how is it going to allow illegals to come here and have their babies and have them automatically be citizens? It's upside down. Totally upside down. Are you going to say anything now?
It's disgusting, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
It's disgusting.
Yep.
I'd be very curious as to what... I need to call Steve Baker. I'd be real curious as to what he has to say about this.
Well, you had this woman, what was her name? I forget her name, but was that other woman that supposedly was the bomber. Oh, Shauna Kirkhoff, okay? Shauna Kirkhoff, as opposed to this guy, Brian Cole. Maybe they were in cahoots together, I don't know, but Kirkhoff is in the CIA, so kind of thinking that they're in CYA mode at the CIA and the FBI. And you've got a former CIA person now about to take over as governor of Virginia. So if you think anything's going to... And an AG in Virginia that wants to kill anybody who's conservative and MAGA. How's that going to go over? We'll be back with more Cowboy Logic right after this.
Hey everybody, Don Newman with Cowboy Logic, here to talk to you about Christmas gifts from CowboyLogicLaser.com. We got all kinds of cool stuff. It can be stocking stuffers, extra little bonus gifts for your loved ones. Cowboy Logic Laser Knife. You've seen me use that on the air quite a bit, whittling my Cowboy Logic pencils. I'm thinking about sending Steve Bannon some Cowboy Logic pencils. We got the highball glasses. We got the cocktail glasses. Now I'm gonna try something here, and I don't know how this is gonna go over. I got a little bit of moonshine. We got some friends that make moonshine. I got a little bit in here, but I don't drink, so I don't know what this is gonna do to me. Anyway, before I go, CowboyLogicLaser.com. Here we go, let's try this. Whoa. Cowboy Logic Laser. CowboyLogicLaser.com.
If I got my eyes on you, no fear, no fear. The mighty power of Jesus is fighting for me here. No fear, no fear. The light of the world makes the darkness disappear. No fear.
And we're back. on Cowboy Logic, and we go from one PO'd guy probably
still
to
pissed off. Pissed off
to another PO'd guy, and that would be one Don Brown. But man, we want him in the Senate in North Carolina. There he is. Great
What's
to
up,
see you
brother?
again.
Hey, listen, before we get started, Don, I want to make it once again, because you're the man of multiple endorsements. Cowboy Logic endorses this man for North Carolina. You got to fix the problems in North Carolina, and that guy right there is the first step to making it happen. We have known this man for many years, and Cowboy Logic endorses Don Brown. Don.
Brown, hold on. That's at Don Brown, FORNC. Running for Senate in North Carolina. Let me introduce you, if people don't know by now. You're running against Michael Whatley, and we'll get to that because former RNC chair.
I don't know her.
Don has done nothing but curse this entire show, so it's going to be full of bleeps. Former Navy JAG officer, as you see there, served in the Pentagon, former special assistant U.S. attorney, best-selling author, of course, and a constitutional lawyer. You helped get Clint Lorance a pardon, and you worked with a bunch of J6 patriots as well. You are a patriotic lawyer, and you are, in my opinion, MAGA all the way. And that's just, you've been endorsed. Now, okay, let's talk about endorsements. You've got a new endorsement.
For anyone who's been told they just need stronger glasses, hold on.
Thousands of people are improving their sight every day.
From Alan West. How cool is that? And re-endorsed by General Flynn, as well as us here at Cowboy Logic.
Correct. That's correct. Thank you. First off, Don and Donna, love you both. Thank you for the kind words of encouragement. Thank you for the endorsement. It means more than you know. We've been blessed with some great endorsements. And yes, General Flynn re-endorsed when he first endorsed us. Senator Tillis was still in the race. Tillis dropped out. Whatley wound up jumping in after Laura Trump turned it down. And General Flynn on Veterans Day actually reissued a video reaffirming his endorsement. We appreciate that. And then Lieutenant Colonel Alan West came in a couple of weeks later with a very strong endorsement. Of course, Sidney Powell sent us a nice video clip, which we're going to have up today. We had a nice event in Union County, where I am. By the way, I'm at the Sweet Union Republican Women's Christmas Party, which is why I'm outside, because we're in a barn and there's not a place to shoot inside the barn. So I'm shooting you from the top of my Ford Explorer. But
nice.
We've been blessed to have great endorsements, more than I deserve. And but listen, yes, it has been my honor to battle for patriots, because when I battle for patriots, we're really defending our Constitution. We're defending our way of life. We're defending the Western civilization that became our constitutional republic. And we might not have a lot of time. So I know that we're all here together. We are in a Senate race. We're going to win the race. We're going to take Whatley out. We're going to take Roy Cooper out. But this is not my campaign. It's our campaign. We are a team. And there's no I in team, but there is an I in patriots, and that's who we are. So thank you for having me.
Amen, brother. We stand by you, bro. We stand by you. You would be the greatest thing that could come out of North Carolina.
Absolutely.
Period, full stop. Before we get into more campaign stuff, I gotta pass this turd, man. I gotta talk about it. I don't buy anything that was said in that FBI DOJ press conference that took place now a week and a half ago about the pipe bomber. You've covered J6 a lot. You understand it. You understand color revolution. You understand corruption. What was your take on the DOJ and the FBI press conference about the whitest black man ever known to man as the pipe bomber?
Well, it's very clear. Unfortunately, even with the change of administration, we still got a problem with the deep state. The FBI, DOJ have had zero credibility when it comes to J6. President Trump issued a blanket pardon, including one of my clients, Elliot Bechet, who was the youngest J6er. But the fact of the matter is that the deep state doesn't want the truth to come out about this pipe bomb. So they're changing who the suspects are. Keep one in jail, and now they've got a different description. Well, how are you going to defend that? The last thing that the deep state wants is for the entire operation to be revealed. We've learned more and more as time has gone on, and some of us, like three of us, our gut instincts were correct that this thing was planned from the very beginning. Now we know about dozens and dozens of FBI agents in the crowd. We know that 98% of all J6ers were prosecuted, whereas 95% of George Floyd defendants were dismissed. I cover this in Chapter 35 of my book, Kangaroo Court. That is a violation of the Equal Protection Clause. This continues to be a charade. I want to know, which deep state agency is who's putting pressure on who to keep the charade alive. There have been a lot of things that just haven't been credible here, coming from the DOJ and the FBI. I'm not buying what they said about the attempt on President Trump's life in Pennsylvania. We still haven't seen communications from that young man. We don't know who he was talking to, and we are very, very short on prosecutions. I'm extremely disappointed. They indicted Pam Bondi, indicted Jim Comey and Letitia James, only to have those cases tossed out for technical reasons. Now, it's possible they could be brought back, but we're moving kind of slow, and we're still shoving some of the same BS we've heard in the past from these agencies, and we got to get to the truth here. The people deserve to know exactly what happened, unfiltered, without any shenanigans here.
Don, it seemed real strange to me if the information, and quite honestly, I don't trust the information that's coming out anymore. Yeah. But it sounds like this guy walks into court and pleaded guilty. Is this... Do you do that as a defendant that's being accused of pipe bombs that the FBI has not been investigating for nearly 5 years?
It doesn't add up. He's pleading guilty to something they plucked him off the street from. Sometimes judges don't accept the plea. I'm not sure about this plea. It should not be accepted, in my opinion. There should be more investigation. Something doesn't smell right. It smells kind of like Jack Ruby and Lee Harvey Oswald and the whole thing that went down in 1963, to be honest with you. Just they're getting too close to the real truth, so it smells like they're serving somebody else up as a deflection, as a sleight of hand. That's what it smells like to me. Nothing just making sense about this at all.
And what about the pipe bomb?
Yeah, for 4 years they were inert.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we're being told that they were active bombs?
Yeah. And you can tell me the dogs missed it? No way. No way.
What would take it so long? If you have active bombs in D.C., I guess one was supposed to be at RNC and one DNC, whatever. Why is it taking this long to make a confirmation that they were active? Again, the whole approach is suspect. Nothing makes sense about the explanation. And usually where there's smoke, there's fire. This smells like a deep state cover-up to me. I believe that's probably what we're looking at because, again, they don't want the real truth out. They don't want the truth out. I suspect, though I can't absolutely prove, I suspect the whole pipe bombs along with the so-called, noose, hangman's gallows that were out there they tried to blame on Trump supporters was all orchestrated by the deep state in an effort to try to blame and pin it on Trump supporters. And they're afraid about getting too close to the truth, so they're serving up some BS in order to try to keep people off the trail. It's not going to work.
By this time in the Biden administration, there were probably 700-800, close to it, J6ers arrested. Again, and I talked about this on the morning show numerous times, the face of J6, the literal face of J6, Joshua Black, who got his cheek shot out, was a gardener. I mean, he mowed people's lawns for a living. He didn't like what happened on J6. He drives from his home in Alabama up to D.C. When he's driving back home on January 7th to his house in Alabama, his wife tells him he's on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. So if they want to move, they can move. You got about 30 seconds here. If you want to comment
Look what
on
they
that.
did with Jacob Chansley, the so-called face of the insurrection, QAnon shaman. Look what they did with him, the face of the insurrection. And then, of course, video was leaked showing him palling up with U.S. Capitol Police, them leading him into the Senate chamber, walking around with him like there's a best friend. It's been the essence of propagandistic lies from the beginning. This deep state of the American government, Democrat Party, are disciples of Joseph Goebbels. And, tell a lie enough that people will believe it. Unfortunately, we've got you guys on the ground and me on the ground. They're not going to get away with it this time. We're going to get
okay. We're going to come back with you for another second. Ladies and gentlemen, make Don Brown go to Washington.
Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The historic Maricopa County full forensic audit effort processed 20,895,610 digital and forensic images of varying formats, resulted in 208 million individual evidence-proof files. The system processed over 58 billion forensic measurements, resulting in over 2 trillion individual base computations. No hopium, no hype, just hardcore forensic evidence. Please make sure the Maricopa County Full Forensic Audit Archives survive. Donate now. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We can't do it without you. We need you. America needs you. Our future needs you. Please donate now.
Join ICE with bonuses up to $50,000 and generous benefits. Join.ice.gov.
Cameras caught the pipe bombs you ignored that day. Ray Epps on payroll, still walking free. What a play. Grandpa and grandma zip tied on the floor while BLM tore cities, yo, beg for more. Pelosi's laptop lost. The footage stays sealed. Every lie you stack is a blade we wield. You built the gallows. We'll hang your decree from C to B. Our face breaks free. Can you taste the iron in the air tonight?
All right, welcome back, everybody. You saw that bumper still there. You guys can pick that up on iTunes, Amazon Music, Apple Music, any place, Spotify, stream it. Any of the money, which will be mice nuts because the record industry fell apart in the 90s.
Yeah.
But any money that's earned off of that record still there. If you look, still there by Newen, my last name. Any of the money that's earned off of that goes to Stand in the Gap to help J6ers, okay? And Stand in the Gap is definitely helping J6ers.
Okay, Don Brown, again, running for the Senate in North Carolina, former Navy JAG officer and special U.S. attorney, best-selling author. Find his books, by the way, at Don Brown Books, but best to go to Don Brown, FORNC right now. Donate what you can. Try to volunteer, whatever, because this is a big race. And it's, to me, MAGA, which is yourself, Don, against the rhinos. And that is Michael Whatley. Okay, I'm sorry.
Still don't know her.
I'm coming right out and say,
just don't know her.
Well, you stop. It's not Michelle. It's Michael. Okay, Michael Whatley. First of all, Whatley it was a Tom Tillis mole. Quite honestly, he's totally rhino. He pushed for the jab. Okay, which to me right there eliminates him. But okay, he was the RNC chair when Trump won. So Trump obviously is going to gravitate to him because Trump won. But the whole thing is nobody talks about the down ballot. And they can still look at the down ballot, which I think stole at least 10 to 12 House seats and at least 5 Senate seats from President Trump. There's no way people voted for Trump and then voted Democrat on the down ballot. And the RNC is working against Donald Trump. So just address all that, because this is what you're up against.
Your instincts are correct. You know, the American people, neither Democrats nor Republicans, it doesn't work very well to try to ram a candidate down the grassroots throats. I mean, you go back to 2016, the RNC tried this with Jeb Bush. Remember that? The front runner, and laughed at Trump. How did that turn out? You look at what the Democrats try to do with Kamala. And the same thing is going to be true with the RNC and the North Carolina Republican Party cheating and violating their own rules. They both have violated their rules. They claim they haven't. They come up with some bunk about a joint fundraiser. No, both the RNC rules and the state rules prohibit these parties from getting involved in contested primaries, but are anxious to try to ram Whatley down people's throats. And you look at if Trump endorsed him, he certainly wasn't Trump's first choice. That would have been Laura Trump. And we've heard that 2 or 3 other congressmen were talked to before, Trump got to Whatley. Whatley was not selected to be chief of staff. Whatley was not, with 15 positions open on the cabinet, was not selected for one of the cabinet positions. So, we have sort of a half-hearted endorsement against our endorsements from Lieutenant General Mike Flynn, National Security Advisor, Lieutenant General Jerry Boykin, Delta Force Commander, who's a real badass. I love Jerry Boykin. Yep. Sidney Powell, who I've worked with as a Patriot lawyer, and Lieutenant Colonel Alan West and Cowboy Logic. I would not swap those endorsements. I have to tell you, these endorsements, these patriots mean a lot. But there is going to be a problem. Whatley is not electable. You pointed out some things already. We could not be more different on the jab. He used the Republican Party headquarters to push the jab, say, I'm going to take the jab. You should take the jab. It's not a matter of, talk to your doctor if you want, but it's not a matter of politics, but science. And people have been killed from that. My record has been fighting the jab and the mask from the very beginning, even putting my neck out on the line from the beginning. I'm glad I did. It's not just that. Whatley endorsed Tillis in March before Tillis dropped out. And the thing that was the straw that broke the camel's back that got me in the race, I worked with Pete Hegseth, as you know. We worked very hard together for a couple of years in the Lawrence case and Extortion 17 and others. And I believe and still believe Pete's going to be our best Secretary of Defense, now Secretary of War in our history. And Tillis promised, hey, listen, if any of the president's nominees come out of committee, I'll support him. Pete came out of the Armed Services Committee. Tillis still tried to torpedo the nomination, and I jumped in the race because of that. That was in February.
Yep.
In March, Whatley goes to a Tillis fundraiser at the Carolina Country Club in Raleigh and endorses him. Whatley was the RNC chair, again, breaking Rule 11. As a national chair, he's not supposed to endorse anyone in a contested primary. But there are two peas in a pod, and Whatley is nothing more than Tillis Part 2, if even that. On election integrity, we've battled the 2020 election steal. Even 3 years after that, in 2023, however, even after the fiasco with computer-generated ballot marking devices, Whatley gets himself reelected as the chair of the North Carolina Republican Party with a cell phone app that he had his people design. And we understand there are people outside the arena voting, even people outside of the state voting for the RNC chair position. That cell phone app cannot be audited at all. And so he lost the confidence of a large portion of the Republican Party on the ground right there. He can't defeat Roy Cooper. And we've got to, we're going to continue pushing. Our momentum is growing on the ground. We've had great endorsements. We have thousands of grassroots supporters all over North Carolina. We are ready to go. We're going to take Whatley out, and then we're going to take down Roy Cooper, and I can't wait to take down Governor Lockdown. And I appreciate both of y'all being here behind us.
You know, your book, Call Sign Extortion 17, that you wrote, 10 years ago?
I can't tell you how many times I've read that book. I cannot tell you. It's an awesome book. And also, we sent it to J6ers. Unfortunately, we had to use thrift books to buy it, but that's how you get them into prisons. But
your books are amazing.
Awesome book.
DonBrownBooks.com is where you find them. But again, you mentioned Pete Hegseth. You got to know they're trying to oust him. And so he's obviously the strongest one of the strongest ones in Trump's cabinet, in my opinion. If they're after you, you're over the target.
Yeah, and Donna, I think Pete is the strongest member of the president's cabinet.
Yeah.
That includes even the vice president. I've worked with the man. I've seen his heart. I've seen his courage. And there's a reason they're trying so hard to take him down, because he's presidential timber someday.
Yeah.
We don't know when, but he is. I was with him with the Vaughns a couple of years ago. He came as our keynote speaker at Operation 300. I was his escort officer that day, and I said, Pete, I want you to hear me now. Something huge is about to happen to you. And he put his career on the line with Fox to help get Lawrence out. That's the type of man he is. But listen, Pete Hegseth rightly called for the court-martial of Mark Kelly, the senator from Arizona, retired Navy captain. And Mark Kelly should be brought up, back on the active duty, which the UCMJ allows, and prosecuted for sedition, for undermining civilian authority of the military. And when Pete mentioned that, that's when the liberals went crazy. First off, they tried this two-shot, two-tap theory. The Washington Post floated it out there. The New York Times actually shot it down. That was debunked. And even if the second shot had been ordered by Pete, it was lawful under the law of armed conflict and the law of the high seas.
Yeah, anyway. The IG said it was lawful. I mean, and the New York Times is still trying to circumvent it. How about Milley? I call him thoroughly unmodern Milley. I mean, Milley's huge. This guy is this is low-hanging fruit for our DOJ.
Well, I think that Pete should call up, and I hope you're listening, Pete. I know he loves you, Don and Don, but you should call Mark Kelly back to active duty. You should call General Milley back to active duty and let them feel the full brunt of the military justice system for the seditionary acts that they've been involved in. And you should do it sooner rather than later. I mean, look at Milley. I mean, he's calling one of our largest geopolitical adversaries, the Communist Chinese, saying he's going to disobey an order from the President of the United States. It's treasonable.
Yeah, that was the first time around. That was Trump #1's term. And he still was untouched. It's amazing to me. I think Don had a question.
Yeah, listen, I just want to talk to the people in North Carolina very quickly here. You can either vote for somebody that has been a loser, and the RNC is a loser, period. Yeah. Whatley was running it. Or you can vote for a winner. You can send a winner to D.C. that is not going to get sucked into the cancer of D.C. Don Brown's a winner. Don Brown's a friend. We trust
In too many cities, dangerous illegals walk free as police are forced to stand down. Join ICE and help us catch the worst of the worst with bonuses up to $50,000.
Don Brown.
Yep.
I wouldn't take a leak on Watley if he was rolling around on asphalt in the middle of the summer on fire.
Man, he has just been out of control this show. Totally out of control.
Watley failed the American people. It's that simple.
Hey, the ballots are still there from 2024. I don't see the RNC calling for them to be audited because they don't want anything audited anymore. That's the whole point. Because they cheat just as much as the other side cheats, because it gets to the point where a lot of Republicans and Democrats are afraid to look at the actual votes because maybe they weren't elected. That's really the bottom line. I mean, in New Jersey, my home state, 500,000 more votes against Citarelli this last time when 500,000 people haven't even moved into the state in the last 4 years, let alone vote. It's the number one state they're moving out of. All right, Don Brown, FORNC, folks, again, endorsed by General Flynn, Sidney Powell, General
Alan
Flynn
West.
twice, Alan West, and, of course, Cowboy Logic.
We love you, brother. We trust you. We believe in you. And we know you are the choice to fill that Senate seat in North Carolina. Anything else, North Carolina, you've made a mistake. You have one choice, one right choice, and you're looking at that man right now. Put Don Brown in the Senate, in the U.S. Senate. Ladies and gentlemen, we love that man. We hope you're going to spread the word there in North Carolina. Let's get Don Brown to Washington. We'll be right back.
Hey, everybody. We're here to tell you about the best line of CBD that Cowboy Logic endorses, and that would be PatriotsRelief.com with an S, PatriotsRelief.com. Use promo code 1776, and you get 45% off through the holidays. How awesome is that? They have the best CBD. We have liquids for the dogs as well, believe it or not, for the animals. Gummies. Roll-ons, PatriotsRelief.com, promo code 1776 for 45% off through the holidays.
You barn party drummers rock. You rock. As a matter of fact, in keeping with the tone of this week's show, you rock.
Oh, no, God.
Okay, that's another bleep
Hey,
I had to do.
I want to say, well, we always say hi to Dana, but I also want to
Yeah,
say
Dana.
hi to Rickus. Rickus has been a great supporter of Cowboy Logic, and we certainly do appreciate it. Carefree Largo calling her out for that. And it's one of his segments on the morning show, and we do appreciate that. We appreciate all you guys out
And
there.
Hammer Chuck for all you do
Yep.
for some of our guests that are less fortunate.
Hammer Chuck.
Yep, like us.
Hold
All
on.
right.
Hold on.
We have been waiting.
Wait.
Oh, yeah, very quickly.
Nancy Fennell, 2 N's, 2 L's, the great artist. We've showed you her stuff, and we thank her for a little present with all of her pictures and our horsey pictures and
All right.
doggy pictures.
We have been waiting
Speaking of
for
pictures.
about a decade to get this gentleman on.
Absolutely.
I'll let you have the honors.
All right, Ron, let's bring him on. That's one, Scott Lebedo. He is the artist extraordinaire, the patriotic artist extraordinaire, as far as I'm concerned. You can see his stuff behind him. ScottLebedo.com. Buy his works.
Christmas gifts,
Makes a
Christmas
great
gifts,
gift.
Hanukkah gifts, Kwanzaa gifts, whatever you buy, it's behind him.
But Scott, we've been wanting to have you on for a long time, and you know, besides being a wonderful artist, there's nobody that, well, you're from New York, I'm from New Jersey, so I understand your lingo, but there's nobody that basically says how you really feel than you and, quite honestly, Don in this
Today,
show.
at least today. Hey, Scott, welcome, brother. Listen, I don't know about you, but what has been going on since Donald Trump walked into that Oval Office for the second time? Trump is doing amazing things.
Yeah.
But all of his minions surrounding him are players. They're not doing anything. I mean, let me get your take on this, on the whole thing, big picture.
I told people from day one when Donald Trump won that election, don't sit back on your flatulence-stained recliner and watch reruns of the Kardashians and thinking Donald Trump's going to fix your leaky roof or your flat tire on your kid's bike. It's not going to happen. Donald Trump has big fish to fry. The rest of us have to continue these battles that are in the streets every day. And here we are in the middle of this pile of that everybody got complacent once again, which put us in the place we were in to begin with because of comfort and complacency. And here we are once again. Where the is the accountability? We hired these people to take these scumbags down. Comey's still around. Hillary Clinton's still around. This one's still around. All day, every day. And what's happening here? What the is happening?
I couldn't have said it better.
Yeah. I don't know why somebody doesn't hire you to be a political commentator, but it might be because they'd end up bleeping all the time. But still,
hey, it's
and
worth the edit time.
Great truth.
It's true.
It's worth the edit time.
All right. You are the creative patriot for sure. Let me ask you, what inspires you to create? I mean, some of the stuff you do, it's just amazing. It really is wonderful.
I started back in the 90s. I was MAGA 30 years before MAGA became MAGA. And everybody laughed at me, New York City artists, because I went to go find myself in the big city of arts. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And when I went into the art world in New York, coming from Staten Island, which is a hardworking, we don't necessarily pronounce our R's properly. And I like guns, I like girls, I like God, I like NASCAR. And the art world couldn't comprehend that. And they told me to go f myself. So back in the early 90s, I said, you know what? Me? Nah. You. I don't need you. I'm not succumbing to your isms, your agenda of you got to piss on the flag, you got to hate traditional values, you got to hate your family. No. And I lost my career right there. I blew it. Everybody was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're going to ruin. I said, it ain't about, I'm an artist. I'm a real.
All right, listen up. Toss that inhaler in the trash right now. Seriously, they've been lying to you. That pump doesn't cure anything. The real
artist, from my heart, from my mind, from my blood, from my ancestors, I am going to use my art to bring back and promote and celebrate that greatest work of art, our American flag. The men and women who sacrifice under it for my crazy son of a bitchin' free ass to express myself as I feel fit. And I am going to do all I can for that. I don't care what the art world says. And I kept at it. They laughed at me. I was the tinfoil hat guy. Now, mind you, at the same time, political correctness popped its ugly head up back in the 90s. And I saw it and I said, this thing is going to grow to be huge and it's going to destroy everything. And again, people laughed at me. 30 years ago, I'm on the front page of the New York Post in handcuffs, fighting against this. The Brooklyn Museum was using Christianity as a punching bag with taxpayers' money. So I went up against the second largest museum, and my career went down the drain. But I became this kind of a Batman kind of guy, where I was the only one, the only artist in the city of 8 million and millions of liberal artists. And I said, we need an activist for America. And that's where I was born, as this not only patriotic artist celebrating America, the flag, our veterans, but also fighting the bull that is still going on today that I warned everybody about 35 years ago, whether it be this teaching kids in 6th grade or 5th grade or 2nd grade that they could put Billy's finger up Timmy's butt, and it's all good. We can't teach these. Nobody listened. And here we are, still living in it.
You know, I was doing news in New York for like 30 some odd years, actually 40 now. And I think I remember what you're talking about with the Brooklyn Museum. And wasn't that the museum that put the Virgin Mary or whatever it is in a cup of urine? Remember that?
No, that was, that was Serrano with the crucifix he put in urine. We're using taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
The Brooklyn Museum started this whole thing with the Virgin Mary. They created, this artist created out of elephant. Now, here's the kicker. Here's the kicker.
I think I covered that story.
It's art,
Oh,
man.
it was huge.
It's art, man.
I got arrested for throwing horse manure at the facade of the Brooklyn Museum, expressing myself. And the issue was, this is where I stand my ground, because I was the only one that went up against, the only artist that went up against that. It's a publicly funded institute. If it was a private gallery, like there are 9 million of them, and that artist created the Virgin Mary and elephant, I would not approve of it personally because I come from that element. But as an artist, I would have fought for the artist's right to the death to express himself in a private institution. But be it a tax-funded museum where these people scream separation of church and state if a nativity scene is on public property. But wait, we could bash Christianity and Jesus and the Virgin Mary over and over again with art as an excuse, but with taxpayers' money? No way. And I went up and I said, this is what I'm doing. And I became a little bit of a folk hero for those people that foot the bill for this that bites the hand that feeds them.
And now we're going to hear the Muslim call to prayer in Times Square. Less than 25 years after 9/11.
I wanted to go there in the next segment because we've only got a minute and a half left, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts on Mamdani. Listen, before we go to break, we've only got about a minute here. Ladies and gentlemen, you see some of the artwork that Scott's created behind him. I went to his website last night.
Awesome.
And he's got something for everybody. That's what was so cool about your site, Scott. You got something that everybody can afford. If you got tons of money, Hammer Chuck, go buy one of his big priced paintings. Okay? If you're on a budget, he's got stuff for you. But these are extremely cool gifts. And all you got to do is go to scottlebedo.com. In the next segment, you look for it when we go full screen with him. It's in the bottom of the screen. Also, for the bumper for the next segment, we've got a treat for you. Scott was on the biggest stage, Madison Square Garden, and we're going to show you how he created some art in about 3 minutes during the Trump rally back there in 24.
That was
It was
big.
extremely cool. But, ladies and gentlemen, again, please, scottlebedo.com. You got Christmas gifts there you can pick from, and they are amazing. Amazing. We're going to be right back, and I'm going to do some more editing with Scott LeBay.
Before I create some art, I gotta say this. There's a lot of creative conservatives out there who've been in the closet all these years. I came out of that closet 40 years ago, and I got a lot of help for it. But now, you creative conservatives, it's a new world. Come out of the closet and get the balance back. Back in the 90s, I came to Manhattan to find my niche in the art world. And the art world didn't like me because I came from this place called Staten Island. Do I hear Staten Island in the house? The art world didn't like me because I like God, girls, and guns. The art world didn't like me because I refused to succumb to the America-hating isms of their agenda. And they said I'd never make it in their world. Fast forward 35 years, I'm standing on the greatest stage in the world, in the greatest city in the world, in the greatest country in the world, and I'm opening up for the greatest president in the world. So, before I create this piece of art, I would just like to give the art world a little something. I got it here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Bam! Ladies and gentlemen, I give you New York, New York. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. These vagabond shoes are longing to stray right through the very heart of it. New York, New York. I want to wake up in a city that doesn't sleep and find I'm king of the hill, top of the heap. These little town blues.
All right, listen up. Toss that inhaler in the trash right now. Seriously, they've been lying to you. That pump doesn't cure anything.
Are melting away. I'll make a brand new start of it in old New York. If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York. New York, New York. I want to wake up in a city that never sleeps and find I'm a number one, top of the list, king of the hill, a number one. The
It's up to you, New York, New York, New York. These little town blues.
How cool is that? That's just the coolest. I mean, how Scott Levato creates is just totally amazing. And
Yep.
your little blurb before you started creating on the stage at the biggest
I had to
stage
edit
in the
that
world.
out, too.
Yeah, Don had to edit that. Don's been really busy with this show, that's for sure. And in fact, it was perfect that you were on, Scott, because no holes barred
Kind of
at this
fit the
point.
theme. But, you know, and I need to very quickly say that the use of this language, whether Donna uses it rarely on air, I use it sometimes, Scott's using it quite frequently here. That's how we talk.
Well, if you're from New York, it's certainly how you talk.
It's just how we talk.
It's how we talk.
Passion.
Yeah.
It's how we talk.
Yeah.
Passion.
All right, so let's talk about
Let's talk.
something I'm sure you're passionate about, and that is your newly elected communist mayor of New York City.
Well, we've shown some of your rants because I agreed with you. Curtis Lewa was the only one who was going to do anything to try to turn this city around, and they forsaked him. They basically threw him under the bus, and it's very frustrating.
What breaks my heart is that I know the city. I've been in politics a long time, and I know how hard it is for a Republican to get elected, especially as a mayor. But it has happened before when we were in the same scenario back in the 90s, and liberals, Democrats, independents came around and voted for Giuliani. And I really thought that my city, the people of my city, for 4 generations, by the way, I'm here, finally have had enough. I said, you know what? How many more women do we have to see get set on fire, alive, and burned to death right there in front of them? How many more little old ladies got to get cracked in the head with some animal's fifth and walk away? How many more rapes, murder, illegal aliens, you know, I said, no, we can't take any more. They're going to come around to Curtis, the only man who can right this ship at the last time. Because if Cuomo would have got elected, even, let me educate the people out there who still think Curtis was a spoiler. Even if Curtis's votes went to Cuomo, he still would have lost to the gypsy communist. It's a fact. And now what I like to say is the forest needs to burn itself to the ground and destroy everything in its path in order for it to rejuvenate itself back to its original self. And that's where we are. That's where we are. And that's why I sleep like a baby at night, because I fought to save this city,
Yeah.
period.
I agree. Hey, your Flags Across America tour was really cool. You painted flags on rooftops all across all 50 states. That took you years. Just talk about that briefly. I mean, it's just amazing stuff.
I did actually three 50-state tours, 2006, 2015, 2011 and 2015. And it was a 10-month sitting, each one. I just drove for 10 months through every state. I don't fly. I got to Alaska on a little ferry boat up the Straits of British Columbia. I got to Hawaii on a cargo container ship. It was a real grassroots, raw, traveling man's trip, just celebrating and promoting the greatest thing in the world, that flag, you know. And we were at a moment where we were just going off. The war had started in the early 2000s. And I said, we got men and women going and coming back and dying. And, how do I give them a little boost? So I said, I'm going to pick a rooftop. I'm just going to go into town and knock on doors and say, I'm a New Yorker, I'm an artist. I want to paint a flag on your roof. No charge. Just feed me, house me, buy me paint. And I want those going off to war to see it, saying Godspeed. And I want those coming back from war to see it, saying welcome home. Good job. Sorry, I get very emotional with it. So yeah, it was a very, very special time. And then I did it again in 2011. And then in 2015, another 10-month trip, living off the land, camping in the woods, just, meeting every American you could possibly meet, from every gender, ethnicity, religion, that we're Americans, that assimilated, that why this country is what it is. And again, and celebrating, to me, the greatest work of art in the history of civilization. I've seen the Mona Lisa, I've seen the Sistine Chapel, the Van Goghs, you name it. But my favorite work of art is the Star Spangled Banner.
Wow.
It's the most beautiful,
hey, if you
powerful,
do one
meaningful work
again,
of art.
if you do one again, we've got a barn. We've got a house you could stay in while you're here.
My bones are too rickety. You can't handle it anymore. It's all on canvas now.
But the
Now
thing
you
is,
buy the painting to hang in your house.
hey,
There
don't
you
get
go.
me started. Unlike Butler, PA, our barn isn't that, I guess steep. So you could
Yeah.
stand on it. Unlike the Secret Service agents at Butler, PA. But that's a whole nother story.
I want to listen. We got less than a minute, and I want to do
It's been awesome having
another
you on.
shameless plug here. Ladies and gentlemen, you want some cool stuff for Christmas? You want things that people will be proud to hang in their homes? Go to scottlebedo.com and pick. You got so
appreciate
many
that.
things to pick from.
I appreciate you hawking my products, and I need to pay my bills and stuff, but I want people to understand, and I always tell people, the majority of the money that I make for this, I cover my costs, my bills, but that keeps my fight going when I have to rent billboard space and rent this and do that and staging. And I give a lot of my stuff to charity, especially veterans, you name it. And
Follow
so
him on
when you're-
social media exactly for that reason.
Yep,
And we've played a lot of your stuff
We
as well.
appreciate you, man.
Scott Lebedo, God bless. Keep up the great work. And we'll be back with more Cowboy Logic right after this.
Many Americans have already used this program to clear their debt, and it's now available across the country.
All right, welcome back. You know when you hear that, and you know when it gets close to the end of the show. J6 coverage right here on Cowboy Logic. Been doing it more than anybody else, period, full stop. By the way, that song, if you go download it or stream it, Still There by Newen. All the money that we make off of that, we're going to give to Stand in the Gap to use for J6 help and assistance. We've got a good friend of ours, been on a few times here, Zach Reel, Proud Boy, got sentenced to 1 trillion years that he was going to spend in prison over these laughable charges and indictments and sentencing. Zach, I want to get right to it, Donna. I don't know if you've got intro you want to do, but Zach, you're playing some very cool legal chess game moves here. And I would like for you to talk to everybody about what you've got going on.
Yeah, sure. So right now, I'm actually I've gone pro se. I'm representing myself at the appeal stage. Since my fellow Proud Boys and also Oath Keepers as well, we weren't pardoned. We were commuted. So we still have to go through the justice system and appeal our case in hopes that we can get the case overturned, or maybe Trump comes in and gives us a pardon one day. But I've been trying since I got out and realized that I was commuted and not pardoned to put in some sort of motion to highlight a lot of the prosecutorial misconduct with the appeals court and have them, remand our case for a new trial. Because I want a new trial. I want a new trial with fair prosecutors. If it comes down to it, I want the case dismissed because my constitutional rights were violated left and right. Every single second we turned, Fifth Amendment rights were getting violated, due process, and Sixth Amendment rights are being violated. And these are all from withholding evidence and threatening witnesses, For example, we have there's actually a DC police officer. I'm sure you've spoken out about him before, named Shane Lamond. He refused to side with the government and testify against Enrique Tarrio and the rest of us. He had firsthand knowledge that we planned nothing, and because he wouldn't play ball with the government and he had integrity, they threw bogus charges at him, and now he's sitting in prison right now as we speak for stuff he did not do.
Yep.
Because they couldn't let him testify on your behalf because he didn't see anything you guys did.
He didn't talk the narrative.
They out and out lie. And yet, in your case also, there were people who did lie, and that's what kind of framed you guys, huh?
Right. And it goes much deeper than that. I mean, they've withheld countless amounts of video. They've held, for example, there's Global Production 36 has a lot of exculpatory video and law enforcement, filings and paperwork that's basically said that we weren't a threat that day. And there's nothing, there's no plans. And during the trial, we're going to touch on this real soon because you're going to bring her up. I uncovered 17 confidential human sources working throughout the Proud Boy organization, being paid by the FBI in the middle of trial through text messages that I had with one of their confidential human sources. And what happened when we uncovered that during trial, the judge shut the courtroom down, kicked the media out, kicked all spectators out, which again, it's another 6th Amendment violation right there, and sealed the courtroom. And the government acted like they had no idea that there was 17 confidential human sources within the Proud Boys organization, when one of their digital experts literally got on the stand and said they read every single text message that each one of us has sent and received. So they saw it, they read it, they knew it, they just ignored it and hoped we wouldn't find it. Well, that's a Brady violation right there, because we didn't receive these confidential human sources until the middle of trial when I caught them red-handed withholding evidence. So the judge told them, bring in 17 names tomorrow, and I don't want to hear anything else about it. So they brought in 17 names the next day. Not one of these people are in our chats, in our, group chats. They went to our meetups. They hung out with us. They were there on January 6th. Not one of those 17 confidential human sources had any evidence or proof of a plan prior to January 6th. And
I bet none of them were arrested either.
None of them were arrested.
Of course.
In fact, one of them was a witness on the witness stand. He was there that day prior to everything popping off, as you could say. He was texting an FBI agent live and saying, this is all organic. Nobody planned this. Somebody knocked the gate down, and it's just herd mentality. After that, everybody started running on the grounds. And then this guy, he ends up getting on the witness stand, and the government shows on video of him actually inciting things inside the Capitol building. So like, this guy was actually a paid informant inside the building, causing mayhem, and it was crazy because the people around him were telling him to stop.
Let me ask you this. It is crazy. Let me ask you this, Zach. You don't need to mention this guy by name, okay? But I'm very curious, in the research that you've done, that one individual that was creating problems inside the Capitol, what was his background, his life? Did he have any kind of previous convictions that he may have been trying to work off? What do you know about this guy's background?
He had an extensive criminal record. He was actually paid for about, I think it was upwards of 20 years. He was infiltrating various like motorcycle gang groups and just engaging in all sorts of criminal activity. And then he would he would flip on the people that he helped incite, criminal activity with. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. And but that it doesn't stop there. I mean, that's just one little can of worms, but I don't want to get everybody too lost up in everything that's going on. The biggest part of the newest motion I put is newly discovered evidence that wasn't discussed at all at trial, and that's the fact that the government's star witness, Jeremy Bertino, who pled guilty to seditious conspiracy when he wasn't even there, because he had his house raided, and he was found to have weapons in his house, and he was a felon. So he was a felon in possession of firearms, and the government essentially threatened and coerced him, which we got him he came out after trial, well after we got out just a couple months ago, and stated that he was threatened to lie on the stand and secure a conviction for the government. And we got a sworn affidavit for this. He's on 2 different videos admitting to this and saying that, they coached him numerous times without our knowledge. Whenever a witness has a conversation with the FBI, we're supposed to be notified. We're supposed to be given a transcript of what they talked about. And Jeremy Bertino stated on record, on video, on a sworn affidavit that he had numerous coaching meetings with Jocelyn Ballantine and Jason McCullough and all the prosecutors on our case without the defense's knowledge. We got 3 transcripts about Jeremy Bertino. He met with the government over 10 to 15 times. And that's a blatant violation of our rights. We have every right to all the evidence used against us. And you can't confront your witness properly, it's a 6th Amendment Confrontation Clause violation. You can't confront your witness fairly if you're being withheld the things the government talked to him about.
Now,
and
has
you
he
can't
come
confront them
forward?
honestly.
But he's come forward now saying that he lied, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, it is. We have a sworn affidavit from him. Yeah, it's a sworn affidavit. It's a big part of the most recent motion I just filed in the Court of Appeals highlighting that. So it goes along with all the other things that they did during trial. It's a pattern of misconduct, and it validates everything that we claimed that they did during trial. And it's only going to validate things going forward. I mean, the lead prosecutor, Jason McCullough, he was either demoted or fired. I heard he was demoted.
All right, listen up. Toss that inhaler in the trash right now. Seriously, they've been lying to you. That pump doesn't cure anything.
And then fired later. I mean, that also validates a lot of the claims we're making. I mean, why else would he get fired? You know what I mean? So, but there is still a lot of lingering questions.
When we get back, I want to talk about the prosecution because Jocelyn Ballantine is still there. And Judge Kelly obviously overseeing a lot of this. We know him very well from all the J6 stuff, but it's a pattern, just like you say. But we've seen it everywhere. We even see it in all the Trump trials. They lie with impunity, and they're getting away with it. This is so unbelievable. And the Gateway Pundit has a great story, your story as well.
Yeah.
So I invite everybody to go read that. DefendZach.com. DefendZach.com, folks. This is going to finally, hopefully, show that this was a Fedsurrection. And there's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. For the Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys, and some 1,600 people that were persecuted and their lives ruined over nothing but a Fedsurrection. Again, DefendZach.com. We'll be back with more right after this.
Dan, you want to know what I love? What's up, brother? I love Don and Donna to death. They've been so supportive of January 6th and all. But man, when you come to visit them, they put you to work.
Dude, they just made us mow 62 acres on riding lawnmowers.
Yeah, and then they made me, under the hot sun, build a whole Lego set.
But you know what, though? One good thing about coming here is they always offer you a nice cold bath.
Absolutely.
But what better way to have a nice cold bath than with Sugar Creek Goods? I'm using the Sunshine Serenity.
And I was using the Valentine Surprise, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll tell you what, if you've got a bath going and you're not using Sugar Creek Goods, you're missing out.
Dude, just look how it lathers up. It's just amazing. So make sure that you don't miss out. You go to sugarcreekgoods.com.
Oh, and you know what else? They've been very supportive of January 6th and the entire community. So you actually got to buy them for that fact alone, on top of the fact that they got great goods.
So just make sure that everybody that you support them because they support us. Go to sugarcreekgoods.com.
Thank you, guys. Love you.
You want to pay J6ers? You're damn right I want to pay J6ers. If you got wronged by the government, then you should be made right. That's America.
That's right.
Damn right we want to pay J6ers.
Pay J6ers now. Too much time has lapsed, ladies and gentlemen. Too much time.
How about about $7 to $9 million, which is what Arctic Frost senators and congressmen are saying they're owed for the same damn thing.
I want an extra zero. We're talking 70 to 90 million for what these people had to go through. All right, Zach Reel, let's get you back in here, man. You are playing legal chess, and I'm very impressed with this game plan that you've got, because basically with this move, in my layman opinion, you've got them in checkmate. They can do one of two things. They can either go to trial, which they don't want to do because all of these violations will be exposed, and the DOJ will look absolutely terrible. The FBI will look as if they don't already. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what I was talking about earlier in the show. I am fit to be tied over all of this.
But they're in CYA mode.
But here's
they gotta
the thing.
fight this.
The other they can either go to trial and look like bigger idiots than they already do, or they can dismiss this and you can get your life back. Have I put that into a little bit of a capsule there? Is that the layman version?
With a nice bow on top too, so it's perfectly. I've been fighting since the day I got arrested over this bogus case, and I'm not a dumb guy. I'm working on my third degree. I have 7 licenses, professional licenses, and everything. I spent a lot of time reading in jail and prison. I read more cases than I can imagine, like probably hundreds of different cases, just to understand everything about law and how my rights are being violated in the process. And I was trying to get some of my attorneys to do things back in before I was released and after I got released. They had a different strategy than me, and we just respectfully disagreed. And I wanted to move forward this way, so I decided to go pro se. And this is just some of the stuff that I was cooking up in my head for a while. I know what my rights are. I know when they're being violated. It's the Constitution is not a complicated thing. And as much as the federal government and the FBI and the DOJ over the years have maybe tried to alter the laws and rules to their advantage to make the Constitution seem more complicated than it is, it's not. At the end of the day, you have rights, and I have rights, and you're not going to violate my rights. My rights were violated left and right, up and down, all throughout trial, and I'm going to expose that if they want to go that far. I mean, but I don't care to go that far. I mean, I'm so over all of this. I mean, I spent 4 years under the Biden administration being a political pawn. Now, for the first year of Trump's administration, I don't understand why. I don't know who's behind it, but I'm still being used as a pawn. This whole case is political. There's not a shred of evidence that showed the Proud Boys planning a thing. Not a thing. We went down to the protest that day. We marched around, D.C. We ended up colliding with the big crowd, and things hit the fan. Things happened. Whatever. Obviously the
but
Fed's
here's the thing, Zach. You guys were targeted. You guys were targeted. Mm-hmm. The Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys, totally targeted. 1,600 innocent people who just thought the election was stolen were targeted. Meanwhile, you've got all the George Floyd protesters getting out on bail and getting slaps on the wrist. So the double standard is there. But the other thing is, and I think this is really telling, is that the prosecutor, the lead prosecutor in your case, Jocelyn Ballantyne, is still there. No pun intended. Mm-hmm. She's still there, and she is also in charge of the pipe bomber case. Oh, gee, what could go wrong with that?
Don't get me started again. I got so much work to do in post-production because of this bull with the pipe bomb.
Don is not a happy camper.
All right,
this show at all.
Jocelyn was not the lead prosecutor. I could be wrong on that, but she was more of a supervisor. Am I correct?
She's still there.
Yes. But the lead prosecutor got canned.
Yeah, that's McCulloch or whatever his name is. Still, Jason McCulloch. Still, I mean, come on.
And I actually wanted to touch on what you mentioned about how we were targeted. And it's funny. A lot of people don't understand conspiracy law in the federal system. Conspiracy law is able to be interpreted so loosely at the federal level that basically they can convict anybody. And to put it in layman's terms for the audience to understand, what they did is they picked the 2 biggest groups, the Proud Boys and then the Oath Keepers, and targeted us. And what they were hoping for, that somebody in our entire web of the organization knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody in the Trump administration, who in turn maybe knew Trump. This had nothing to do with serving justice for what happened on January 6th. The end result was Trump. It was always Trump. And we were innocent from day one. And when you're innocent and a prosecution tries to frame you for crimes you didn't commit, mistakes happen. And a lot of mistakes happen. And I caught them because I paid attention the entire trial. Every single day, I was on my computer. I was taking notes. You know, even before trial and after trial, I was still researching things and doing everything I could to exonerate myself because I'm innocent. And I'm not going to sit here for as long as I live and allow them to steamroll me and tell me I'm a criminal for something I didn't do. If I did it, I would admit it. I'd man up. I would have served my time. I would have shut up and I would have moved on in my life. But when I'm innocent, I will fight until the death to prove that. And I would do it legally for sure, but I will do that until I die. Like, I am innocent and that's it. So at the end, like I said, at the end of the day, they wanted to bring down Trump. They wanted to eventually charge him with seditious conspiracy, and they wanted to take him off the ballots like they were trying to do before the election even happened.
Attention law enforcement. You took an oath to protect and serve. To keep your family, your neighborhood safe. But in too many cities, dangerous illegals walk free as police are forced to stand down.
So that's what it was all about. And I wish somebody in the Trump administration would see that and just cut the head off of the snake right now and just fire the rest of these prosecutors and pardon the rest of us. But I can't rely on that. I can't rely on that because it's been almost a year since I got released.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I feel like right now nobody's going to fight for me except for me. And that's why I filed this, and that's why I decided to go all in. I'm going all in, and whatever the government responds on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever it is that they have to respond, hopefully it's favorable, you know, and then I'll go on my merry way, and probably they'll never hear about me again. But you know, if they want to oppose it, then I got a lot of things up my sleeves to reply to them about that I've been waiting to say. So,
well, you're the ham sandwich.
We'll
Chuck Schumer's talked about. You know, they can indict a ham sandwich if they want to. So if they don't proceed with this, does that mean your case gets dropped and you don't even need a pardon? How does that work?
Yeah, if it gets dismissed, then my charges would get thrown out, and you know, I wouldn't need a pardon. No, I'd get my military benefits back. That would be great. You know, they owe me a nice little back pay check for that, but we'll see. But
yeah, because you're still without benefits.
Yeah.
You and Biggs and a number of them are still without benefits. And this is reprehensible. You took an oath that never expires so that we and these prosecutors and members of the FBI and the DOJ could live in liberty. You took that oath.
Yeah.
How about, Purple Hearts, and you're not getting your military benefits with some of these Proud Boys and
Joe Biggs has as many Purple Hearts as we have tractors.
That's true.
This is ridiculous.
It's sickening. It really is.
That would be too. All right. So tell us what you did for a living before, though, because obviously, you know, you're really on top of this, quite honestly.
Yeah, I was a financial advisor. I worked with Merrill Lynch for a little bit. I've got my securities license, which it's all been revoked because of this. I was actually opening up my own company. I was going to be a independent financial advisor. I was going to offer securities products and insurances and mortgages and things like that. All very hard licenses to get, and these are all the licenses that I had that I no longer have access to, which makes this whole thing even more worse because I can't even go back into the industry that I worked in because, you know, I have this over my head. So guess what? I have nothing else to do but fight my case, and that's what I'm going to do.
God bless you, man. DefendZach.com.
I want nothing more than for you guys to get every ounce of liberty that you deserve and then massive compensation for this. Massive compensation for every minute that you sat in solitary confinement for zero reason.
Lives ruined for zero reason.
Hey, Zach, as you know, brother, we close the show every week with the most beautiful national anthem, that sung by our brothers in C2B. Gentlemen, hats off. Ladies and gentlemen, hands over your hearts. We appreciate the fact that you trust us with 2 hours of your valuable time, everyone. Thank you. We do the show for you. Zach, we love you like a brother. We'll see you next week.
God bless.
Have a good. God bless. Merry Christmas.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.